small for dates babies, known as SGAs, or small for gestational age, and the pathological or far more deeply concerning version of the IUGRs, intrauterine growth restricted babies. Hi, I'm Kathy Fray, and I'm a semi-retired senior midwife and a best-selling maternity author, and I've got behind me here, behind you in front of me, is some PowerPoint slides on a lecture that I give on SGA and IUGR babies, which usually would take about an hour. It's an overview given to birth practitioners and maternity healthcare practitioners. So, yeah, we're going to try and condense this into less than 10 minutes on TikTok, so buckle up. Let's give it a whirl. Okay, so firstly, any baby weight, estimated weight on an ultrasound should always be plotted on a customized growth chart. So if your midwife or obstetrician is advising you that your baby is in the below the 10th or 5th centile, so it's a SGA baby, the first thing I would be asking them is, has that been plotted on a customized growth chart? So a customized growth chart is based on where we enter in the maternal information, so that's your height, pre-pregnancy weight, your age, your ethnicity, which is very important on getting correct, on knowing when a baby is or is not SGA, and also any previous baby weights that you have. Now, there is basically a physiological and naturally petite baby, and then there is pathological, which is an undernutriented skinny IUGR, or intrauterine growth restricted baby. So it's important to be able to differentiate very quickly, is this a naturally petite baby or is this an IUGR baby? Once it's the estimated fetal weight is plotted on a customized growth chart, so that will confirm if the baby is below that 10th or 5th centile, which makes it SGA. So there's a very simple way that we can diagnose if a baby is naturally petite or is pathologically skinny, and that is the difference in its measurements between its head circumference and its abdominal circumference. So in utero, a fetus should be, head circumference and abdominal circumference should be pretty similar. If the abdominal circumference is larger than the head circumference, well, this means that this is a really bonny, growing, thriving baby. That's, and if it's quite a bit more, then that can be an indication that the mother may have gestational diabetes and her baby is actually becoming macrosomed or large for dates. But so long as the woman's does not have gestational diabetes, if her baby's abdominal circumference is larger than the head circumference, then celebrate, yay, the baby's placenta is doing a fantastic job and the baby is thriving, so that's great. But when we when we see a baby that's got a very similar head circumference to abdominal circumference, so long as all the rest of the measurements are all kind of all matching, then matching to that size baby, then we would potentially call an SGA baby like that just naturally petite, right? And when you look at the human population, well, they don't suddenly start to vary in size after they're born. They start to vary in size in utero. So, it's normal at birth for a baby to weigh anywhere between sort of 2.5 kilos and 4 to 4.5 kilos. And so, of course, they're going to vary in utero in that third trimester. Okay, but the one that we get more concerned about is pathological. So this is when the baby is skinny and the abdominal circumference is below the head circumference. That's an IUGR baby, that's an intrauterine growth restricted baby, which means that there is not receiving the optimal amount of nutrients through its placenta. And that is the one that you want to be very concerned about, because this is a baby that's not thriving. Okay, so let's go, just clicking on to my next slide. So with a physiological, petite, SGA, no concerns with that one, then you would basically just give that baby normal cares in utero and 2 to 4 weekly ultrasounds and just await spontaneous labour. But when they're in labour, we do continuous fetal monitoring of the baby because it is at higher risk of fetal distress. And at birth, if it is confirmed that it's a low birth weight baby, meaning sort of under 2.5 kilos, then in post-birth we would do glucose monitoring of that baby for the first 12 hours just to make sure that it's all honky-dory and it's all good. It's just it's little, but it's a healthy but little baby. Okay, but the pathological ones, these IUGRs, where the abdominal circumference is below the head circumference, these are the ones that we get really concerned about, and so should you. If you're working, stop working. I cannot emphasize this one enough. Sorry, very animated. You cannot be working when you've got an IUGR baby. Like, it just drives me nuts. Okay. Yeah, you need to be resting. Okay. Right. Enough. Sorry. Didn't want to blow you away. Okay. So with these pathological, sickly, basically, you've got a sickly baby. IUGR, you want to be once or twice a week, probably growth scans. They'll be doing other sort of details of the growth scans, BPP, biophysical profiles, Dopplers of the Doppler ultrasounding of the blood flow through the placenta, etc. You're going to have very likely an induction of labour with IUGR baby. They can get to a point where this baby is just better out than in. It's going to be better starting to be on breastfeeding than relying on the placenta to feed it and let it grow. If those placental Dopplers become so abnormal that the growth is slowing or stopping on the fetus, then you'll be talking about an induction to have this baby out. Now, the big stuff that you guys can be doing, that care that you can be doing for your own, for your IUGR baby, is the mother and the partner. You just substantially need to alter your lifestyle, significantly reducing stress on the pregnancy. Just zero work. Loads more rest. That is your priority. The mother needs to drastically increase protein consumption, to basically include protein every day. Just remember that carbs convert to energy. Protein is structure. You're wanting to build a baby. Just think of what a bodybuilder eats. That's what you should be eating. If a bodybuilder is eating 6 eggs for breakfast, eat 6 eggs for breakfast. Go buy some protein bodybuilder shake. You are building a body, so you want to be doing the same thing, right? You just 2 to 3 protein shakes a day, protein with every single meal, and very much you want to be engaging with a maternity wellness clinician. So that would be actually more than one of them, ideally. So seeing a naturopathic medical herbalist physician, and also seeing a homeopath, and also seeing an acupuncturist. And you may be able to see somebody who's all of those 3 things. A lot of them have studied multiple different modalities, but you want to be doing everything that you can to help your body, to support your baby's placenta, to support the baby. All right. So treat it seriously. You've got a sickly, unwell baby going on, and you don't really want them born before 37 weeks because their lungs are going to be immature. So then you'll have a sickly, petite, tiny, scrawny, skinny baby that also has immature lungs. So you want to get you past 37 weeks, no work, rest, eat loads of protein, and make sure it's based on a customized growth chart. So look, we actually did it under 10 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to love you and leave you and wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, everybody.